Yes, this is me, Hudson George, this evening. I'm just doing a live. My topic is 51 years ago in Grenville town, Grenville, St. Andrews, Grenada, in Grenada. Pre-independence political strife and demonstration in Grenville town. And things I could remember in the town. Pre-independence. January month was the hottest month. And just before Christmas, things was building up in the town. To get to Grenville from St. Patrick, sometimes you don't get a bus in the morning if you're going to school. It is said some buses used to use kerosene mixed with gas. They were getting it from Trinidad. So sometimes you have to walk from school. You don't get bus. I remember one morning when we would go to school in Grenville, there was blood on the street. And it is said that a top cop shot a taxi driver and an other person. I think the people was from the Sobeys area. But one was a taxi driver. They were shot. Who get leg broken. I can't remember the name. Then as the thing build up, coming to 1974, because 1973 started hotting up. When it come to 1974 now, January was the most demonstration and all kind of thing in the town. And then there were two ladies holding demonstration in the town for the Gary Gold Party. One was a younger woman, good looking, and she used to wear pants. But she was very feminine, but she had this warrior spirit. She wore pants and short, and so she was good looking. And the other lady was more a mature lady. I think that other lady used to be a road driver, when they're doing road work. The two ladies, one of them name was Julia Adams, and the other one name was Angelina Peters. They used to lead demonstration in Grenville town for the golf, for Gary Golf. And demonstration used to go around the town, and so, And I remember the first time I see Bernard Code was in a rally in the park in Grenville. I think they call that park Victoria Park or something like that in Grenville town. I saw Bernard Code and Lloyd Noel for the first time in a rally. Those days they had committee of 22. I was a schoolboy in Grenville at that time. It was my last year I've been to school. So you go know my age now. Right? Last year I've been to school. I remember in the school now, after they had the pre-Cambridge exam, there was some Pisco teachers in the SAS school, and with the tension building up, so it is said that some people had tried to invade the home one night. Pisco teachers from the US. I think I remember the name still. One name was Chakovic. He used to teach me literature. He was a good teacher. There was one called Crank. He used to teach Spanish. And he had one they called Marsden or Marsborn or Marzen. I think he married to a black woman from Salisbury Road. I saw him once after in Grenada with his Grenadian wife. And they had a son. I saw them once after. Maps, I think Mr. Mapson or Mapson or something. But Shakovich told us he was an American of Russian background. But because the attack on them where they were living in Grenville, they went back with all the political violence, you know. And it is said that some students did it because of pre-Cambridge. Later on, one of the students they say did it. It is alleged he was stabbed to death in Grenville, somewhere in Grenville. He was stabbed to death by another Grenville person. After maybe 2 years or 3 years or a year or two after, he was stabbed to death by other guy what used to school in, I think in St. John, in a PBC or GBSS or one. But I more believe it was PBC. Grenville guy who come out by the cinema stab him. And that other guy, that SAS guy, who was alleged was one of the attackers on the Peace Corps teacher come out in Soubise when you plus Langwall. He kind of look dog-like. I won't call his name, you know. But anyway, so Grenville was hot up. Right? Demonstration in the town. You've seen people walking around with baton because the Gulf had the military auxiliary and so on, which some people call what secret police or whatever. And I remember once Mr. Morrison shop. Mr. Morrison was a mulatto man. And he and his wife, they look kind of on the white side of mulatto. They had a business place close by the police station. Later on, I found out the building was owned by Nike. I don't know if it's true. But anyway, they had a business there. And when you go there and buy, you see a lot of axe handle, spade handle, you know, handles for agriculture tools. Later on, we found out if there was a riot in the town, this axe handle maybe was to beat demonstrators, right? The town was active with all kind of thing, you know. So, and then one day we see police rounds up some guys they catch from town or something, or some police they arrest some people in the town and so. So pre-independence in Grenville, I remember the day those PRG people was called anti-guerrillas called Bloody Monday. I remember witnessed the looting of Narc supermarket in Grenville in the evening. Asari looting. The guy who broke the supermarket, he broke it with building the fish, some fish port in Grenville that time, a fish place in Grenville, and he took the peacock there. That guy had a mark behind his neck. Like, you know, some people have something where you hair growing behind your neck, and doctor operate on it and he make a mark. That was his mark to identify. But when he broke it, he was assisted by 2 policemen. That is after what happened in town. And they say Bishop Father, he get shot. And all who they go in town on demonstration, when they come up, they looking kind of scary and so, you know. Who say they get sprayed, tear gas and all kind of thing, you know. I waiting for bus to go home from Grenville the evening. I saw when they break it. And the looting start. Even when the bus I was coming up on, he had looters who take things, you know. I never know if people so strong, man. In looting, a man could loot a fridge. You understand? So I see a lot in the town of Grenville. But my real, as I get older, the 2 ladies what used to hold the demonstration for the Gulf, nobody won't put them in history. I the only person, I know them by 2 other names, but the name people just call them is not nice looking name for ladies. It's a kind of put them name. So I asked somebody in Grenada to get me the real name. And I put the real name. Julie Adams and Angelina Peters. So they were like, if you're talking about female revolutionaries, they were for the Gulp. If you want to talk about Jacqueline Craft, Murray and them, that was for the Jewel. Not the Jewel, the PRG. So these two Gary ladies is like Julie Adams and the Angelina Peters were what they call female revolutionaries in Grenville town, defending independence. So, but the intellectuals won't put them in book, but they will tell you about Jacqueline Craft. And they don't, if you check them Grenadian PRG people, they don't mention Murray Francois from La Poterie too much. She was a fierce woman, maybe fiercer than Jacqueline. Jacqueline was Maurice Bishop concubine, and she was a educated woman, an intellectual. So, you know, Grenada Revolution and in the Caribbean, most people write about the revolution is more mixed race people and upper class people. So they want to recognize those darker people. Don't let them fully read that. I never read about too much about Murray as a revolutionary, but I don't say about Jacqueline Craft. But they were in the same PRG. You understand? So Grenville was a hot ground, and so as I get older now, I ask myself, why did they do that? If you look at countries, Grenada is a black country. Black people fight for independence, but Grenadians fought against each other like crab in a barrel, or like fox and grapes, over the British giving us independence. As we get older, we survive. What was the sense of that? Why do that? So, you know, Grenville, and then students last a lot because when the Peace Corps and them go back, you didn't have enough people to teach in the school, you know, and then people can't go to school every day is when you get the bus and the tongue always action. But what I find funny once I get older and I look at Grenville town, St. Andrews was a Gulp, predominantly Gulp area, Gary Gulp. But the town had a lot of action, political action. I can't tell you about what went on in St. George's demonstration. I've never been to demonstration in the city, but I used to school in Grenville and I saw all the activities what take place in the town. So when I think about it, I don't think we should do that, because doing that was not good for the democracy of the country, because we fought among ourselves over something we shouldn't fight about. And now we're celebrating independence. But still, independence in Grenada is a lukewarm thing. After the Gary Gulp thing, independence is the logo of Grenada. It's something you cannot change. February 7th, 1974 is the copyright of Grenada as an independent country. They cannot change it, but it is a lukewarm celebration for even some political parties when they're in power. The PRG tried to change the day to not to honor it, and they wanted to promote March 13th. But the PRG commit suicide. So February 7th still remain Grenada Independence Day. So anyway, I won't go too long. I just giving a little thing what I observe in Grenville and how it affects schools, and looting, and so. And after the looting, the cost of living went up high. Before the looting, the cost of living in Grenada was very low. And then it went up because the committee of 22, the business people, they lose money. And to get back their money from looting, they raise the cost of living. You understand? So anyway, the question is, why did we fight among ourselves for independence? Why did we do it when we were not fighting the colonizer? Anyway, this is me, Hudson George. This is all I have to say. I go on till I come again.